part of the lecture, we will continue to talk about dynamic keyword insertion. And as I have said before, dynamic keyword insertion is a very advanced feature and allows you to dynamically uh, uh, change the display of your ad. And the way this works is that this allows you to insert certain keywords that you have already selected into your ad text. And this typically works very well when a user, for example, who is using a search query, and then when this search query matches up with a certain keyword in your ad group, that particular keyword with which the search query matched up with, if this keyword now appears as part of your ad, then this ad typically now will appear as very relevant to the consumer, right? So the point to remember here is that when a user search query matches up with the keyword, the matched keyword will be inserted into the ad text as a result of dynamic keyword insertion. So it is not the search query itself that goes into the ad text, but it is the matched keyword that goes into the ad text, right? Now, of course, you might think that this would really make your ad much more relevant to the user, and therefore your quality score will increase. But since it is not inherently a feature of the ad, it is a feature that is provided by Google to do this dynamic keyword insertion, and it is not really about the other qualities of the ad. Google explicitly says that this does not automatically increase quality score. Okay. The advantage is that this gives you some flexibility in terms of creating your ads, because you might then create these ads with this flexibility in mind, that as the user search query matches with different keywords, then those particular keywords can be inserted into the ad on the fly, and therefore made more relevant to these consumers, right? So here is an example, and in this case, the keyword is going to be inserted into the ad headline, right? It can be anywhere. It can be on the display URL or in the description as well, but this example is for the ad headline. So you can see that the ad text has got this part which says this curly brackets, where it says keyword and a colon followed by the word chocolate, right? So what that indicates is that when one of those keywords, you can see those keywords on the right, on the left, that are decided in the campaign. These are three keywords: dark chocolate, sugar-free chocolate, and gourmet chocolate truffles. So whenever a user search query matches up with one of those keywords, that matched keyword will be inserted into the ad headline. Okay, so let's carry this example further. Let us say a user search query was dark chocolate. Obviously, it would match up with the keyword dark chocolate in your campaign, and therefore the ad would appear with the headline "Buy dark chocolate," right? Similarly, if a user search query matched up with sugar-free chocolate, then in that case the matched keyword is sugar-free chocolate, and the ad would appear to the user as "Buy sugar-free chocolate" with that particular headline, right? Now, in the third example, which says gourmet chocolate truffles, here the ad headline does not appear to the user as "Buy gourmet chocolate truffles." Instead, it appears only as "Buy chocolate." Well, why did that happen? The reason is that even though the user search query matched up with that particular keyword, this keyword was too long, right? Because you cannot really have a headline which is longer than a certain length, right? And this length that is specified by Google may change from time to time, but whenever it is more than the specified length, then in that case, the particular keyword cannot be inserted, and instead a default word is inserted. And in this case, the default word was indicated as chocolate, as you can see in the design out here, right? So that is why you have just "buy chocolate" out there. Now, similar to insertion into the ad headline, you can insert it in other parts of the ad as well. And this example now shows that the dynamic keyword insertion is being done in the display URL. So you can see that keyword :chocolate, that syntax is included out here as part of the display URL. And same as before, when a user search query, which is dark chocolate, matches up with the keyword dark chocolate, then what you have is this particular keyword appearing as part of the display URL, right? And once again, if this display URL becomes too long because the keyword is too long, then it goes to a default. Okay. And now you also have certain flexibility in terms of capitalizing or keeping in small caps the letters included as part of these keyword, right? So in the example out here, you can see the first row, the syntax, the letter K in the word keyword is actually in small caps, right? And if the matched keyword is emergency plumbing Seattle, for example, then the match would result in the text showing as emergency plumbing Seattle here with the E and the P and the S in small caps. And this is because the K in the keyword here was also in small caps, right? On the other hand, if you made the K in this word keyword here, if this K, if you capitalize it, then the first letter of the first word in the keyword is now capitalized as a capital E out here. Although the first letter of the other words in the keyword are not capitalized, they are still small. If you wanted to make the first letter of each word in the keyword as capital, then what you would do is that you would capitalize the K in the keyword and you would also capitalize the W in the keyword, right? So these are some tricks to have the dynamic keyword insertion done in an effective manner. This is just a summary of the discussion that I was having on this slide. So I'm going to leave it at this and just leave you to read this as a summary. Also, beyond dynamic keyword insertion, Google also has come up with what are called responsive search ads. And the idea is very intriguing out here. Instead of making the entire ad creative, the user, the advertiser is asked to create multiple headlines separately and multiple descriptions separately. And then what happens is Google Ads combines these different components on the fly, okay, and tests out which combinations. And when of course they combine, when Google Ads combines these different components, then it creates an entire ad, right? So an entire ad is shown to the user as it was shown in the past as well, but the Google Ads now has got a lot of flexibility in testing out different combinations of headlines and descriptions, etc., to check out that which combinations work better in terms of being able to get a high clicks, etc., right? And so if you use the responsive search ad design strategy, you actually use the abilities and the capabilities of Google Ads to try to come up with a better ad creative.